This is the story of a trip around Europe on a motorbike. This is what I brought in terms of clothes in one pannier, and in the other pannier, tent, camping gear, emergency stuff, repairs, and then in the top box, lighter stuff like sleeping bag and things I needed. Took the ferry from Hull over to Rotterdam. On the ferry, there was some interesting cars from a classic rally, a beautiful E-Type, lots of other fancy cars. Also, a lot of bikers who'd been over to the Isle of Man. So I had a berth overnight, woke up fresh in the morning into Rotterdam, and started to head south to Nuremberg in the first day. This is my first sight of the Alps in the distance, and then getting into the Alps towards Austria, and gradually coming from Germany into Austria. The scenery just gets better and better, and yeah, all the way just getting better. Notice the yellow tape there, that's a marker that I have so that I know driving on the other side of the road, which if I'm confused which side of the bike should be beside the curb. This is the Grossglockner pass in out of Austria and going into Slovenia. Beautiful road, it's a high alpine road they call it, and well, this is all along it. There's many hairpins, spectacular scenery. You're climbing all the time, and then there's a plateau at the top, and then you're dropping down into Slovenia. So this is on the way up. You're getting up to the snow line, and the views down the valley are spectacular. The camera can't really do it justice. It's looking down the valley above the clouds, obviously. Yeah. Now you can see the hairpins there looking down, and it's countless hairpins. And then you're right up at the melting snow. And this is the highest point. There's one or two tunnels, but mostly it's hairpins. Yeah, and you're right on top of the world there. Again, that's where I came from, down that valley. This is a lake up at the top. And again, now I'm about to start dropping down out of Austria into Slovenia. Yeah, just spectacular scenery. This is a hut in Croatia actually. So I passed through Slovenia and stayed in this hut in nature reserve in Croatia. This beautiful meadow, loads of insects and birds on. This is the morning where I had breakfast, and there's ovens and pizza oven there and all sorts of things. I had an amazing breakfast cooked by a local guy. Well, I found a local bar, walked down to it, and this is the breakfast. Very remote. And this is on the road, that's actually the Adriatic. It's very hot, and this is typical of the roads down along the Croatian coast. So I went south along the coast and then headed inland towards Bosnia and Herzegovina, and stayed in a rural, very remote village in Bosnia. But this is the Adriatic on the way down. And this is now in Bosnia. Beautiful fresh food from that garden, ideal place, small remote village. Really had to trust the GPS as it took me there because it didn't look that promising. But yeah, it was perfect. Staying in Airbnbs on the way, and that was a good choice. Beautiful roads, very little traffic, amazing scenery. Oh, came across this tank. So this is in Bosnia when the war is from '91 is still fresh in people's minds, and this was around a school. There were signs of problems, was mainly on the signpost where Cyrillic and Roman letters were scored out by either side. This is Republic of Srpska, and you can see some of the scoring out there. But beautiful place, and people were friendly. I didn't speak Russian or German, so I was limited what I could do with them, but they were definitely helpful and friendly. Beautiful on-point scenery. This is coming up to Montenegro now from below Mostar. Beautiful roads from Mostar all the way up to Montenegro. This is in Montenegro, Shepherd's Hut that I stayed in. Beautiful place, remote. And this is Montenegro, of all the journey, was probably the standout place. Just amazing scenery, unspoiled. Um, this is great to Airbnb. Then I went out touring in the evening and roundabout, and there's a plateau. There's amazing hairpins and roads to get up to it, but amazing plateau. And panoramic scenes all around. Yeah, pretty idyllic. It was also part of the TET, so I did a little bit of the TET in Croatia, in forest, and then this is also parts of this are in the Montenegro TET. But I say I stuck to the easy parts of the TET because I was alone on a big bike. Yeah, total amazing scenery. This is the evening, so you begin to see a sunset. Yeah, just amazing. Plenty of exposed rock and fancy geology you're about to see some, I think, but the whole trip I saw amazing rocks in the various mountains, and yeah, this is, you see the folds in the rock there and the scree and everything. It's and again the winding road coming up, so literally countless hairpins. This trip maybe 1,000 hairpins. So this calls it Katoon Road. This is this highland road with the panoramic views, and that's the bike back at the Shepherd's Hut. Yeah, amazing place. And the morning setting off again, and yeah, scenery was relentlessly good. Oh, amazing hairpins coming down. Um, a tunnel with a hairpin in it was quite amazing. You're about to see it in. This is looking down at the Tara River, which is the deepest canyon in Europe, and that's Pluzine down there, which is the Tara. But they do rafting and so on this river and kayaking. Yeah, you can hardly see it there, but there's a tunnel going in, and then yeah, you can see it better there. Tunnel entrance in the middle of the picture, and then you come out on that bottom road after a hairpin in the tunnel. And that's down at water level now. This is going towards Albania now. This is the cut across the border, and this is in Albania. I stayed in an Airbnb that had a secure compound for the bike, and it got walled garden. That's coming into Greece. Now we're heading south in Greece. Very hot. This is the morning, amazing sunrise, and then a ferry across to the California, which is where I was meeting everyone else. That's a beautiful beach on that island, and that's Maria, whose family's party was I was going out to myself. Very hot, very enjoyed the beer. So that's Maria again. The big yacht in the background is special. We met the owner. This is the owner. He's Chris Dawson, who owns the range and so on. He invited us on to see his motorbike, which is Stephen Queen's original bike. You'll see it in a minute. Some pictures in Greece. That's the boat again from another angle. Huge boat, super luxury. There's the bike. So this is Stephen Queen's Bonneville. And yeah, the guy got talking to me because I was wearing an Africa Twin t-shirt, and he's a biker himself. So, anyway, this is on the third level of the boat. It was the ice cream cocktail, absolutely delicious. And this is my favorite boat in the harbour. Not the biggest, but beautiful wooden boat. Just a traditional boat. And it had several tenders that were also very good, well made. Yeah, that was my favourite. Time to leave, so I was getting, as soon as you get the gear on, you're stationary, you get hot very quickly. It was 35 to 38. This is the ferry going across from the island over to mainland Greece. And yeah, it's the area where people tour around in their yachts. So yeah, spectacular place. Now I'm leaving from inland Greece over to Brindisi in the south of Italy. So it was an overnight ferry with a cabin and everything. Again, a huge boat, and you can get an idea of the scale there with the truck. Yeah, just an amazing boat. Yeah. So this was overnight. Now I'm in southern Italy, and you see these strange buildings in the rural areas. Uh, Not quite sure of their history, but they look like farm support buildings. Uh, Most of the villages were mountain tops, so I actually stayed in this one right up at the top, and yeah, you couldn't drive all the way. It was yeah, um, very steep. And then moving on further north up the spine, this is up near Parma actually. That was a pizza made with Parma ham, another hilltop village. Then in the north of Italy, you get these rice growing areas which went on for miles. This is just a town in northern Italy. Now we're getting up the Aosta Valley towards France. Spectacular. This is an area that I cycled in 40 years ago, and actually cycled the next pass that I'm going to go over, the Petite Saint Bernard. So this is coming up the Aosta Valley. Beautiful ice cream, really hot day. Yeah, this is Aosta kind of square. Out in this fancy place there. It was really good. Beautiful views. Had this amazing smoothie, and yeah, just the food. There's breakfast the next day in a different place, but yeah, and then heading up Aosta towards the Petite Saint Bernard pass into France, which is what I cycled. Although I got here by the Grand Saint Bernard on the bicycle. Anyway, spectacular scenery all the way up. It was through ski resort halfway up. And just everywhere you look, there's amazing mountains. Very hot, so it was lemonade I enjoyed, followed by ice cream. It was ridiculously hot. Okay, once you're moving, there's a kind of map of the general area, but it's a long valley up. Yeah, so working way up in altitude now. Yeah, you're getting higher. Again, not much traffic. Could really enjoy the roads. And you could slow up and take in the scenery as well. You didn't have to race. So this kind of plateau towards the top, and then we're going to start dropping down into France. I remember on the bicycle that actually the downhill was the more demanding than the uphill. The amount of concentration you needed on the bike. And in those days, the brakes weren't the best, and you had to use them in moderation, just when you needed to. Amazing flowers, they only come out in the picture, but there's amazing fauna in the detail. Yeah, that whole area is beautiful, clean, clear stream. And that's looking into France, and the Massive Central is the next area that we're going to. So that's dropping into France. And of course, good food. Yeah, so this is actually in France now, in the Massive Central. Quite a remote area, but again, find a very good Airbnb. This is a different one. This is further north in France, where I stayed in this garden hut, but it was an amazing place. It had pigs and chickens and all sorts. And I was given a breakfast in the morning of pancakes with locally made jams and everything. Brilliant. Tongera in Belgium, where we got drunk in that first cycling trip 40 years ago. Back to Scotland, back home, and a really good trip. So there again is a map of the loop that I did. The boots, which are done now, that's the end of the boots. I've now got new boots and jacket.